Hi, Travels with Lucky here. It's February 25th, and this is the introduction to this video. We are still in Montana, and we did take a 10-hour trip today. So we went down Highway 15 to Pocatello. We had an important mission to do, which you will discover later in this video. But we are starting to prepare for some of our summer journeys. We're waiting for the weather to warm up. It was 17 below the other day, but today was dreamy. It was up into the 30s. We actually went over Monida Pass and it was perfectly clear. So I ended up taking some highlight shots and some videos along the way, which I think you're going to enjoy, starting from about Twin Bridges on I-15 on down to Pocatello. And it was just so beautiful. I thought a lot of you who aren't familiar with what winter in Montana is like would enjoy this trip. And I actually enjoyed it because usually when we go over Monida Pass, it's like white knuckle time for me because the weather and the roads can be so treacherous down there. So we really lucked out. And I hope you enjoy this video and keep watching for some great adventures coming up this summer, and you'll see why. At this point, we've passed Dillon. We're on I-15, heading toward Clark Reservoir. And you can kind of see it here off, there we go. It's all iced over, and there really aren't too many people fishing today, which is kind of surprising. There were only a couple houses out there, but I guess with all this cold, nasty weather we've had, people are probably just not too interested in venturing out right now. But I myself was curious to see how many people would be out there fishing. There's actually some really good fishing there. These are just some stills. If you look closely, you can see, there we go. There's a couple fishing houses. Yeah, that's what people do up north. They put houses out there and fish. All right, so we're heading south on I-15. I just thought the shadows and the snow were beautiful. Those are actually Lima. What did I find out? That's by Lima, and of course they mined Lima back there. And there we are, seriously checking out the views as we're driving along. There's some close-ups of the snow on the mountain peaks. Sorry for the shakiness, but I was just zooming up pretty close and it was hard to hold that still. Sun hasn't hit them. I was hoping we'd get that golden glow. Here we are, Travels with Lucky, and this is our first stop. We are in Lima. There's Lucky. This is a pretty nice rest area. You can see behind me there's a lot of truckers here that hold up because they were getting close to Monida Pass, which you never know if it's going to be open or not. We've checked the weather carefully and found this window where today looks like it should be pretty good and it'll be open. So that's why we're making this run today. And let's go see what Lucky's doing. There he is. There's quite a lot of snow here. He's just getting his jobs done. Okay, that's Ralph's. If you need to gas up, you can get gas here. And then we're just heading back out onto I-15. You can see it's a little dark and gloomy. The sun hasn't completely come up. I'm not sure what I'm trying to show you here. Well, Oh yeah, I just kind of wanted you to see the road a little bit. Here we are, entering Idaho. Basically, it's a clear road. There's a historic bridge, railroad track bridge. I got some better pictures of that on the way home. So I was just trying to show you how good these roads are. Now, there is little intermittent ice here on this road. We aren't quite heading up the pass, but you know, we do go over the Continental Divide here in a little bit too. So we get up there pretty high, over 6,000 feet, and Monida Pass is a pretty dangerous place. Now, the sun is starting to come up here. Just showing you some shots of kind of see how much snow there is and just some oddities along the way. Spencer is famous for its opal mine. I haven't stopped in there to look at the jewelry store, but there is a jewelry store that sells opals and other gifts and things. And of course, this time of year, nothing's open. Nobody wants to stop in this cold. Well, I don't think they're open. I shouldn't say that for sure. Well, they're closed. They let you know pretty well on these road signs whether or not they're open, and you can pretty well bet that it's closed this time of year. Okay, so now we're moving on. Now here, I just wanted to show you those. You know what those are? I bet if you're from the north, you do. Those are snow fences, because this is such open country and lots of snow goes through there. Those are a newer kind of snow fence. They're made out of like that, some kind of vinyl material. I'm not really sure. They used to be made out of wood, like those in the picture. Those are the old ones. These are the new ones. They're about 10 feet high, and they actually do really help a lot. As you can see, the snow's really piled up. Not as much as I've seen some years. Now, coming up is one of my favorite landmarks. It always reminds me of that movie 2001 Space Odyssey. Did you ever see that when you were like back in the 70s, I think is when it came out? You think 2001 Space Odyssey? That's never going to happen, but look at that. It's an old silo, but it's way off in the distance. I always get a kick out of it. All right, so now those are the Sawtooth Mountains. You could just barely see them. They're about 60 miles away, but I thought they were pretty. It's hard to get a good picture of them because there's usually clouds around them. There you can see some of the peaks. And off over in that distance, there's some really interesting country. You've probably heard about, there's a big that's all lava in between here and there. And there's a whole area you can explore, and it makes you feel like you're on the moon. But that'll be another adventure, hopefully this summer. Just kind of wanted to give you an overview. This is big hay country because it's real nice and flat and good for ranching. There you can kind of see the Sawtooth Mountains. Now, off to the right, also way over there, you can kind of see the Tetons on a clear day. Now, at one time, I don't know if they still do, but Budweiser used to store a lot of their grain in some of these grain bins. I'm not sure what the deal is now, but I always thought that was kind of interesting. So here we are, just cruising a little bit more down here on 15. It is pretty interesting country. And there's a pretty good view of the Sawtooths. There's my driver, Mike. Yeah, there's some of those bins I silos I was talking about. Oh, now this is another one. I like to pretend. I always think, oh, there must be a alien spaceship buried in there. Well, I think these grain bins, I don't know what this operation is, but it's just kind of awesome, I think. We just don't see things like that. It kind of fascinates me. Now, okay, when you see this building, you know you're in Idaho Falls. Pretty amazing, huh? Mixed in with all this farm stuff. There's a lot of potato farms, so there's a lot of potato bins. Now, this part is really interesting. Those are all lava rocks, and up ahead there is actually a really nice rest area you can stop at and walk through them, and I would definitely recommend stopping in there. I just, we're just driving along pretty fast because we gotta make a 10-hour day today. We want to get home before it gets dark. But I thought it might be interesting if you could kind of get a glimpse. There's the rest area. If you see that, be sure to stop in there and take a walk around. Allow yourself an extra half hour or so. It's pretty cool. So there's another, some better shots. I took some stills of that area. Okay, this is a portion of the Snake River. If you look closely, you can see some snow geese. I'm pretty sure those are snow geese in there. Can't see it too much. You can't see the river too much, but anyway, that's the Snake River that runs along there for a little bit. And this grand flag, I think it's beautiful. All right. This is the reason we came to Pocatello. Yep, we got a truck camper. They're loading it right now. And I'll show you more of it later. Now we're actually heading back toward Dillon. We stopped in here at the alien hideout. That's not exactly what it is, but that's what I think. Well, I just had to do a little narrating here with the eagle coming out of my head. We're in Camas, Idaho, and there's Lucky behind me, stretching our legs a little bit. This is the tail end of our trip here. The reason for this little trip is we stopped and, as I said earlier, we stopped and picked up this truck camper. We'll make it for a lot of fun little adventures this summer. We don't have to rely on motels. So we're looking forward to it. We looked a long time to find one that would fit and have everything we need. We've tried different ones, but we ended up with this Lance. It's a used camper, but the previous owner took good care of it, and it's going to be just perfect for what we want to do. So I think Lucky's looking forward to it. He jumped right in there and checked everything out. Okay, so here's some good views of the Sawtooth Mountains, and as we go forward up ahead, we did actually see some wildlife. There's some elk. You're gonna have to look closely. I'll try to do a stop shot. Oh, you can see I'm pretty fascinated with this building. I don't know what it is. If you do, let me know in the comments. Maybe it was a kid's skating rink. I really don't know, but I actually think it might be a place where they store potatoes in the early days. I just don't really know. That'd be cool if you knew. Let me know in the comments. So anyway, watch closely when we get back on the on I-15 and start heading north. Pretty soon up here, Mike spotted some elk laying down. Quite a few elk, actually, and I don't know how good of a shot or how well you're going to be able to see them, but let's see. I think that is them in there. Yeah, unfortunately, sorry, a little blurry. I was not quick enough on the spot here. So here I'm trying to get some more views of the Sawtooth Mountains. See if we can get those. That's about it. So anyway, there's some of that old snow fence. It was along on the other side of the road. And there's Spencer. We're going back through Spencer, heading north. Now, as we were heading home, of course, it's much later in the afternoon. The earlier shots were from this morning when the sun was just coming up. Now, let's see. At this time of day, it must have been around 2, 3 o'clock, so the sun was starting to go down across the way and hitting the hills, and I just thought it was beautiful. And I wanted you to see what winter looks like. And look at the sky. We love the blue sky in Montana. We call it the bluebird sky, and it definitely was a bluebird sky day. But sometimes you can see the reflections on with the snow. Kind of reminds me of that meringue on lemon meringue pie, when the egg whites get all beat up and they're all shiny. Oh, that's what this reminds me of sometimes, especially where there's nice snow drifts and the sun shadows are hitting them. Okay, we are going over Monida Pass right now, and so we're up here pretty high, Continental Divide. Every once in a while you can see through the trees. And I thought they were equally pretty too. Like I said earlier, usually the snow is blowing and you can't really see anything. And you just hope you get through it. Not all vehicles make it through. But this was just such a gorgeous day. I was so lucky to be able to drive on this dangerous road when it was so beautiful. It's kind of rare in the wintertime. There's a railroad bridge, and coming up ahead too is that other old-fashioned railroad bridge. I think it'll be coming up here pretty quick. There's some pretty good views. Okay, there it is. It's coming up, I believe. Anybody who has to drive over this pass very often can appreciate these dry roads. That's kind of why I'm showing you the road here, because usually it's all snow-packed, ice, blowing, cold, nasty. So this is a real treat to be able to drive down this nice road. All right, let's see where we are right now. Oh yeah, okay, so Lima's up ahead. And here's some more views. That's off to the west. We're heading north now. I want to just see how high the snow is in some places. There's that bridge. Pretty cool, I think. You just don't see those. That's the kind I saw all the time when I was growing up. And there just aren't that many of them anymore. So anyway, if you're going through this area, keep your eyes out. That's on the east side of the interstate. So this, I'm pretty sure, is a railroad bridge. Those are hot rivet bridges. This was probably put up in the late teens, 1920s. Saw a lot of those when I was a kid, so I'm kind of fascinated by them. All right, moving right along. And now, as we go forward, okay, watch these exit signs. There's Monida exit. But then this is pretty cool right here. Coming up, check it out, exit 0. That's because we're right on the border. You know what the word Monida stands for? It's a combination of Montana and Idaho, because that is the dividing line. Now we are in Montana, heading north. still have pretty good roads. I mean, actually great roads. So I'm just going to show you some more of these beautiful mountains. So we actually stopped in Lima again, and this is up by the cemetery. Let the dog stretch a little bit. The dog, Lucky. Look at how beautiful it is. So that's Lima down in there. One of these days this summer, when the weather gets better, we'll do a whole video on the town of Lima. It's really interesting. It's just a small town. It was an old mining town. Of course, they mined lime. Maybe some other things too. I'll research it and get some more information about it. There's the old fire hydrant, but it's not red, so Lucky didn't stop there. So there's our new truck camper. I'm so excited about it. I can't wait till summer when we can go out on the road and hit some of the backcountry roads of Montana and show you some beautiful places. Now this here, I believe, is Dell. There used to be a great restaurant, the old Schoolhouse Restaurant, which always did really well. That's it right there. What does this look like? This mountain looks like something. What do you think? Let me know in the comments. These are just random shots, and we're getting tired. One more landmark I want to point out. See if you can see it sitting on top of that hill there. Well, you can just barely see it. But it was a statue of a buffalo. Well, thanks for watching. Please subscribe to Lucky's channel and watch for more adventures on Travels with Lucky.